1 in every 36 children has been diagnosed with autism. That's according to the latest data from the CDC. The neurological condition has been steadily on the rise since doctors and researchers first started tracking it. And today, while there are advances in communication technology and early intervention leading to more resources for the autism community, misconceptions, stigma, and shame still exist, even within the Catholic Church. Current News' Jessica Easthope joins us now to talk about how some with autism have found faith beyond words. Hi, Jess.
Hi, Christine. The way it's been described to me by people with non-speaking autism is there's a mind-body disconnect. They take in information and process it, but oftentimes there's a disruption in the organization and regulation of things like speech and movement. As you can imagine, this makes things like going to Mass pretty challenging. I sat down with Susan Esposito, a parishioner at the Basilica of Regina Pacis, and her 2 adult sons who both have non-speaking autism, about how faith plays a role in their lives and how the church has received them. Take a look. 33-year-old Charles Esposito motors through this puzzle. It helps bridge the gap of the mind-body disconnect he experiences, having non-speaking autism. Charles and his brother Anthony live here on Staten Island at On Your Mark, a residence and day program for adults with developmental disabilities. Their mom, Susan, fought to get them here.
What you're told, what's not going to happen, happened. They're independent. They do their own thing. They come to program. They enjoy their lives.
Susan has been fighting for her sons all their lives. While faith has been a constant for her family, she says her children have not always been compassionately received at church.
All them cries.
We were thrown out a number of times. The usher threw us out. Then we went and stand in the back. Then somebody else told us we had to leave. So it was difficult.
D and T, however, I find T.
But recently, thanks to this letterboard, Charles and Anthony have been able to use their own voices to express their pain.
U and after the U, N, and.
Unfortunately, when my vocalizations would take control, I very often felt judged and embarrassed.
And after the D, R, and. Though I have struggled
resonating with God, I always felt comfort in the statues.
It's hard to accept why
we were created this way.
Charles and Anthony take everything in. They learn and process information just like someone who's neurotypical, but they can't control their bodies in a way that allows them to consistently and reliably give that information back.
It turns out that those individuals understand absolutely everything.
Chelsea Cholino, a therapist at On Your Mark, says letterboard communication is only recently becoming widely recognized as a credible form of communication for people with non-speaking autism.
To never know if their voices were ever going to be heard or found, if they were ever going to be understood. I mean, they lived 30 years of their life trusting and hoping that it would come to this.
And when it comes to faith, these 2 men have a lot to say. Charles, what does the ideal Mass experience look like for a Catholic with autism?
S.
Same as it would for a typical Mass, but I would like to see the parishes be informed on the truth behind non-speaking autism.
Susan listens and is always learning about her boys.
We need to make it more welcoming. If there was more religion classes, if it was more church functions, it would help them, I think, to realize I'm part of this family too, God's family.
More than 20 years ago at Regina Pacis, Susan started a faith formation program for children with all types of physical and developmental disabilities called Susan Kids that Christine still serves the community today.
Jess, this is just mind-blowing for me. I can't imagine having a voice for the first time in my life, and it's all because of this technology.
Right, and Charles and Anthony speak about a time before they didn't have a voice. Often in my interviews, they would say, well, before I had my voice, this is how I felt about something. And, you know, it's easy to see this all presented with a nice bow on it like this, but it took Charles and Anthony more than a year to become proficient enough and comfortable enough with this technology to be able to sync their motor function and their cognitive function.
Right, and look what they've been able to do with it. It's just amazing. Thank you, Jess.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christine Persichetti, anchor of Currents News. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button on this video. And if you want to see more content just like it, subscribe and click on the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, because we are putting your faith in the news.